But the man that you see is a man that was killed in a car accident 15 years ago, diagnosed with prostate cancer 10 years ago. In the car accident, died, came back to life. Neck severely broken, cervical disc 3, 4, and 5 disintegrated. You see one x-ray where there's no bones, but then you see the other ones after my sister prayed where God's spiritually and graftedly put all of them back together. And then 10 years ago, Brother Dot, I went to the doctors just to have a PSA, routine check, numbers were high. Came back, said I had cancer, prostate cancer. And while I was sitting there, God said to me, he said, no chemo, no surgery, no radiation. So for 10 years, went through the process of all the numbers increasing. And I sit here now. Last year, went to have a MRI, came back, clinically significant. Cancer is no longer present. The man that you
Come
see,
on now.
The man
Come
that
on,
I'm telling you about is one who's trusted God.
Do you think anything is possible inside of Sin City, Las Vegas? I believe what God is doing is that he's bringing people together under the spirit of unity to display that anything and everything is possible through him. This is Las Vegas United. Well, hello and welcome to Las Vegas United. I'm your host, Dr. Presley, and I want to welcome you to 2026 with a new look. Hey, if you're watching from YouTube, we welcome you. If you have not subscribed already, make sure you hit that bell. Make sure you hit subscribe so that way whenever we go live, you know exactly that what's going on. Also, too, if you're watching from Keen 17, we welcome you. If you're watching from our app, thank you for downloading it. And also, too, being in tune in what's going on inside of your city, because that's what this show is all about. Speaking of all about, I want to get to our guest right now. If you could, can you help me welcome Pastor Tony Howard?
God bless you.
Thank
God
you
bless
so much,
you,
sir.
man. Yes, excited to be here.
Oh, man, look,
Yeah.
it's funny how we started talking.
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to get to that really fast. I want people to know who you are. That's the part. I want people to know who, Pastor Tony Howard is. I wanted them to know the family man. I want them to know the husband, the pastor, the leader, right? The visionary. Right. But I really want to share this story.
You
right?
have to. It was
right?
amazing.
So I thought, right, I was contacting someone else, right?
Right.
And I had been texting you for like a couple of days, right?
Yeah.
And what happened was I gave you the invite to come on to Las Vegas United. And
Right.
I was like, we're started kind of talking. And then we got on the phone.
Exactly.
And we realized we don't know each other.
Right.
But somehow I had your number in my phone, right?
You did.
But as we started talking, we were on the phone for like 2 hours?
Yeah, you and I were, and then you and my wife continued. Yes.
Yes. We were on the phone for hours, right?
Yeah.
You know, the one thing that we walked away with, I believe, is that there's no coincidence with God.
Exactly.
Everything is always by appointment. There's always a time,
Right.
right? There's always a season. And I want to thank you for saying yes to coming on Las Vegas United and just having that great conversation with me. Also to be able to talk with your wife as well. We'll have her on the show in one of the next upcoming episodes as well. If you could, can you let everyone know just who you are like as a man, where you're from and everything like that? Because I think it's important for people to know who we are, not
True.
just what we do.
I agree. Yes. Let me comment on how we met, though.
Yes.
I said to you that there is no Greek word or Hebrew word for coincidence.
Yes, sir.
That everything is purposed by design. And the beautiful thing about it is that when we had the conversation, it was as if I've known you for years.
Absolutely.
And then this is what was ironic, being both from Ohio, you being from Cleveland.
Yes.
I have family in Cleveland, and everything was just like connecting, like that this was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I just thank God because the way it all unfolded, being here right now, I know that it was purposed by design. We were talking right before we started about predestination, predestined, and predestined. So being those things and what happened didn't transpire by coincidence.
Not at all. We're
sitting here simply because God did it.
Yes.
However, your number got in my number got in your phone. Don't know how it happened. We may have met, but this was beautifully done by God.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm just grateful to sit here and from that conversation before we hung up and we prayed, I said, in my heart I have the love and the peace to say you're my friend. Didn't know you, have never met you in person. but that connection and the friendship and the connection, not only spiritually, but physically, the genuineness that I felt from the conversation, I thank God for it.
Oh man, no, thank you guys. I mean, you and your wife were so loving, so kind. I got to learn so much about you, and everything. But as much as I learned about you both, for our viewers, who is Tony Howard?
Tony Howard, young man from Cincinnati, Ohio. Born and raised there, grew up, and was born with a gift. Some people have the gift of prophecy. I was born with it from a child. I could see things. I could determine names, birthdays, things of that nature. I could see conditions in the bodies of people. At a young age, 3, 4 years old, I would touch people and they were healed. Or I would lay my hand on a part of their body and I could feel the condition in their body. And they would come back hours later or the next day and they were completely healed. So to answer the question completely is that Tony Howard is a young man from Cincinnati who God has blessed. And I came to the Lord at the age of 12 and lived my life as a Christian. There was some times, where you take the beaten path and go in a different direction.
Right, yeah.
But it never steered me from where we're sitting right now.
Right.
It never steered me from knowing who God is and trusting him and knowing that he was my everything. And there was nothing that I could do without him. So I'm just grateful. But the man that you see is a man that was killed in a car accident 15 years ago, diagnosed with prostate cancer 10 years ago. In the car accident, died, came back to life. Neck severely broken, cervical disc 3, 4, and 5 disintegrated. You see one x-ray where there's no bones, but then you see the other ones after my sister prayed where God's spiritually and graftedly put all of them back together.
Come on now.
And then 10 years ago, Brother Dowd, I went to the doctors just to have a PSA, routine check, numbers were high. Came back, said I had cancer, prostate cancer. And while I was sitting there, God said to me, he said, no chemo, no surgery, no radiation. So for 10 years, went through the process of all the numbers increasing. And I sit here now. Last year, went to have a MRI, came back clinically significant. Cancer is no longer present. The man that you see.
Come on now.
The man I'm telling you about is one who has trusted God with no chemo, no surgery, no radiation. I'm 7 out of, I have 9 siblings, 6 sisters, 2 brothers. My wife and I, we have 5 children. We have a blended family. We don't even call it blended because you wouldn't be able to tell. Because I don't believe in step or any of those things.
Come on, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, you talking my language now.
Yeah, when I married her, I married everything about her.
Yes.
Yeah, so her sons, my sons, and daughters, we're just
our
family.
sons, our daughters.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you'll never know.
Yes.
And as a pastor, I thank God because now for 22 years, we've pastored Destined for Glory Wide Outreach Ministries. And our church is a beautiful ministry of family. It's a deliverance healing ministries, all about souls, all about outreach. The numbers are important, but I thank God that he's allowed me to find who I am in him, because I struggled trying to find who Tony Howard was myself, but I found myself in him.
Come on. Yeah, it's funny you say that because me and my wife were having a conversation, I believe it was yesterday, honestly.
Okay.
About... she was like, her question was, babe, she goes, babe, do you have self-love?
Oh,
and I was, and so I was just like, and my response was, I was like, right now? And she was like, she was like, so I'm like, okay, like, I go, well, yeah. So then she's like, the reason why I asked because, they took some pastors and, they did a study and it was like, some of them committed adultery or, attempted suicide. Some of them completed suicide too, unfortunately, and it was because of the lack of self-love. And so I was like, I get that part. I go, but I was like, I would say that many times it's not necessarily about self-love. It's about identity.
Correct.
That I would say that, the things that come from it, those are the fruit of the lack of of identity, right?
It is.
And so you think it's one of those deals that self-love, and she said something so profound. She goes, well, that makes sense because she goes, if you don't know yourself, then how can you love yourself?
Exactly.
And I was like, that's a good word. I was like, I go exactly, right? It's because without us knowing who we are, we can't love ourselves. in the fullest or even slightly? And how can we truly love others the way that God has called us to love them if we don't know who we are, right? We know there's always a call for us to know who we are, like you said, in Christ.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
because other than that, as men, we will associate our identity with what we do. And the moment that that's taken away is the moment we're like, well, what do I do now? What we're saying is who am I now?
Exactly.
Who am I now? And so I love, you're like, you know, me now, you're like, the man Tony is a man that has found himself, has found his identity in Christ.
Exactly.
And in doing that, you're like, hey, listen, when me and my wife, we come together as a blended family. Me and my wife, we're a blended family too. We call ourselves the interracial Brady Bunch, right?
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Right? I mean, because, you know, my wife is Hispanic, you know, and
Yeah.
I'm Black. And it's one of those deals where, like, we're an interracial Brady Bunch.
Right.
You know, 3 boys, 3 girls. And like you said, the kingdom is all about language that is always unified.
Right.
There's the only time when it's separated, when it's like, hey, sheep and goats, right?
Exactly.
That's when you, but the people, you decide to be separated. But there's a beauty when we decide to utilize language of unity.
Exactly.
Right. And the thing is, like, you're like, hey, yeah, so our church, beautiful church, can you tell us a little bit more? Because I sense family, right?
Yeah.
You're speaking family. When you and I spoke, it was literally us talking about home and family and members and all. And when I say members, I'm talking family members. I'm not talking about church members. I'm talking family members. And what I found so interesting was, like you said, your heart, the heart of family, the heart of unity, right? That's not something that a person manufactures on their own. We know from the gospel that it's from the Spirit of God, right? So can you let us in a little bit more about your ministry itself?
I will. The thing I love, 2 things I want to address. The individual person that we were talking about earlier. I found out that disconnection between self and self is so complicated, but yet so unique, that when an individual is disconnected from their own selves, that they struggle with the identity that you talked about. And it is that identity that was never theirs in the beginning. It belonged to God. So when I said to you that I found myself in him, is because my identities became multiple personalities, because I was doing so many different things. But when I found myself in him, then I really knew who Tony Howard was. And I said to myself, man, you're not really a good person. There's some, not in the sense that I'm bad, but there's a lot of things that I needed to change. So I thank God that I was able to do that, and he was able to bless me. And with the church, our church is unique because we have a blended church. We have Hispanic, we have Caucasian, mixture, Jewish, but that's how church should be.
Absolutely, the whole gamut.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It should be that. And I believe that more churches should come together from that platform. And not just a church of, all Caucasian or all Black or all Hispanic. We're blended. And God is a God that blended us all together.
Yes.
So in our church, it's unique because we have a ministry of healing, deliverance. We have a prophetic ministry. So all of these things are intertwined. But the greatest part about ministry is the outreach. And adopt a senior, boys becoming men, our men of glory, our defining women. So our ministry is a blend of reaching out to other people, and reaching out to the people not only on the outside but on the inside, because we have to bring the blessings or keep them within before we can extend them. So our church is beautiful, and I just love God, love the blend of it. And there's a peace when you walk in. Even though we're at 1401 East Flamingo at the Clark County Library, you would never know it. When the people walk into the library, it's like, wow, this is a library, because the peace is there. And that comes from fellowship, and it comes from covenant. It's amazing. When I walked in, God said, you're going to have the conversation about covenant. And covenant relationship, Dada, is so beautiful, because if I'm in covenant with you, not just as a pastor and you're a member, but we're in covenant together with God, then there's different things that can take place. There's certain things that can happen that would normally happen if we were just pastors and members. So that covenant brings us together and blesses us to be uniquely different.
I love that, right? Because as you were talking, you reminded me of David and Jonathan, right? when the Bible talks about how, their hearts were knitted together, they loved each other, and they had a covenant together.
Right.
Right. And it's interesting because a lot of times we come to our relationships and the relationships become transactional.
They do, don't they? Consistently.
Yeah. And we're not called to just have transactional relationships, right? We're called to actually have genuine, heartfelt, covenant, family, and unified relationships.
Right. And then it becomes difficult because based on the number of transactions I have with you, it's going to determine how my relationship is with you.
Come on.
So if my transactions are limited, then you're going to feel some kind of way. But it's not about that type of transaction as it's much about, like you said, the transaction where we come together as one.
The multitude of transactions, right? And it's one of those deals that the moment that I feel as though that my transaction becomes negative, the moment that I don't receive back a rate on my return, right?
Exactly.
The moment I don't get that is the moment I'm like, well, is this relationship even worthwhile?
Yeah.
And that becomes a danger inside of ministry, inside of relationships, right?
Correct.
Inside of marriages,
yes,
right? Because I think both you and I understand when it comes down to saying yes and taking on children, right? That's a choice.
It is, isn't it?
It's a choice, and you have to choose it every moment of the day. I'm even just thinking about a situation that like me and my wife right now with one of our children, and it's a difficult one, right? And yet, it's one of those deals that we're both saying yes. We're both saying yes to, I know that they may not biologically be mine, but they're mine. The Lord gave them to me. The Lord put them in my possession to take care of. This is not transactional.
It's not.
It cannot be transactional. This has to be 100% choice and covenant.
Yes. So many times it's based on how many transactions. And then in our minds, we say to ourselves as pastors, you don't remember in the past all the other transactions. And God said to me, that's the wrong way to think. It was never about what you did in the past and those transactions. It's about what you're doing now consistently, but doing it with the right heart. And like you said, with your child, I'm looking at the fact that no matter what has happened, you're still my child.
100%.
And it's not going to change it, whether it's this or whether it's that. I'm standing here simply because I love you.
Yeah.
Not for anything else or any other reason.
Yeah, and it's an interesting thing, like you said, to stand in love. I think that's the part is that as pastors, right, there are times when we are called to stand in love, even when we don't feel like it.
I know. That's beautiful.
Right.
Huh? Yeah.
Because it's one of those deals where it's like, what I'm called to do cannot be based on transactions. What I'm called to do cannot be based on what I think I can get from you.
Exactly.
The thing is that if I can get your friendship, if I can get your time, that should be enough many times.
Exactly.
That should be enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
So based on, in regards to, and I love how you begin to explain your ministry, and you were talking about different portions of it. You were talking about the different. Name them one more time. The different ministries inside. Because you were like, hey, support an elder. What was it?
Yeah. Adopt a senior.
Adopt a senior.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what we do with that is make sure that we keep in contact with them. We make sure that they have the ability to go to their doctor's appointments, make sure that their prescriptions are filled.
Yeah.
I have 2 members that drive Uber and Lyft, so we Uber food to them or have them to go to different locations. So in adopting them, we take them on in the role to make sure that there's someone's always in contact with them.
Right.
And that there's a phone call that's coming. And that whatever is needed, they know that it's not a burden, but this is what the program is designed to do, to make sure we have adopted you in that sense.
Right.
And once that person is assigned to them, every one of their needs, we try to meet every one of their needs, which has worked out perfect. Because, when you get older, very seldom do you constantly get the phone calls. So we make sure that someone is reaching out to them on a consistent basis. Boys becoming men. We take young boys, help develop them into becoming men at a young age. Go out, we do all types of outreach with them, teaching them to play golf, different things like that. And then men of glory, taking men to help them realize what a man really is. Not the word man is one word, but becoming men is different. And we see ourselves as men, but we've never dealt with the man. And God dealt with man first, not with a group of them. So we come together to individualize ourselves, but to collectively work together as men, which is beautiful. And then we have defining women, where they define themselves as women. How are you defined? How do you see yourself? How did God see you when he took the rib and then he brought the woman to man?
Come on.
So there was a space between Adam and Eve. So she had her own space first. God didn't make her in the same space.
Say that one more time. Somebody probably need to catch that right there. Say that one more time.
God didn't make her in the same space as Adam. She had her own.
Yeah.
So by the time she came to Adam, or he brought her to Adam, she had already identified with herself that she already had an identity. So now what happens, the blending or the statement of becoming one happened at that moment. They had to become one because of the distance between him and her. So what we do with defining women is help them to define who they are as a woman.
Yeah.
Do you know who you really are? You were so important that for almost 500 years, God hid you within Adam. And then he brought you to him, not to help him finalize something, but the word meet, to help meet the call on his life.
Yeah.
Not a mate, M-E-E-T, to meet the call on his life. So that blending part and the women defining themselves is very, very unique for us.
I'm loving what I'm hearing, because you're looking at the total aspect of all people. Where it doesn't matter if you're older, doesn't matter if you're younger. There's a space and a place for you,
Exactly.
to become who you're called to be.
Yeah.
To learn why you're here. Right.
Exactly.
And I think that's the part. It's a very important, right, for all of us to, because there's always this call, there's always this thought of, okay, how do I fit into the world? What is my purpose to be here in the world?
Wow.
Yes.
Yes.
And so it's like there's always this thing, but then even much more, there's always this thing. There's always something that transcends all of it.
Exactly.
Right. That's the greater call. And you think until we understand what transcends us, until we have an idea of the great I am, right?
Exactly.
Of the Lord, right? Until someone comes to a true understanding of God, they will never come to the place
Never.
where they answer, why am I here and what is my purpose? Because other than that, they'll just be grasping in the darkness for something, and they don't even know what they're picking up.
Exactly. And then we have Yuma, which are young, upcoming, mature adults. So like you said, we have to create a path for them.
Yeah.
Because for them to figure this out on their own, that is a dysfunctional act on our part.
Yeah.
Because we're enabling them to be dysfunctional. So we are the leaders for them. So Yuma helps develop a track to show them this is what young people are doing. This is what Christian young people are doing.
Yeah.
So look at the paths. And then by looking at both paths, which ones do you see that would be more comfortable, more viable, more righteous for you? And as we begin to do this and develop it through Yuma, they have that opportunity. And I thank God we have a beautiful team that works with us. Pastor Tiffany, Minister Ebony, her husband, Pastor Matthew. So we're working this together to work on ministries. I love having a lot of numbers, but it's not in the numbers. It's in what we can do in outreach with what we have and how many people can we reach.
Right.
I think that's the beautiful thing about it.
I love the presentation, because you were like, hey, this is what young people are doing in the world. This is what Christian young people are doing in the world, right?
Yeah.
And you're basically like saying, choose this day.
Exactly.
Choose this day, not who you'll serve, but choose your path.
Right.
You have the opportunity to choose the path that you want to go down. Which one will you choose?
Yeah.
And I love that, because it's not sugar-coated, right?
It's not.
It is what it is based on what's going on in the world, and they see it on social media. They see it amongst their friends. For those that may be in college, they see it on the college campuses.
Yes.
So it's not as if you guys are like saying, oh, here's some smoke and mirrors. No, you're like, hey, no, here's the reality of what you know, what you see.
Yeah.
Okay. And then also too, here's an aspect of faith.
Right.
Which path do you think is going to put you in a position to, number one, be who you're supposed to be?
Yeah.
Number two, accomplish what you're supposed to accomplish, right? And then number three, end up in the place that you know is actually for eternity.
Yes.
And I love that.
Yeah, never robbing them of a sense of ambiguity.
Come on.
Giving them the ability to have an open mind. All of these things you're going to encounter. You may encounter certain things in college. So look at that. But as you're looking at that, remember what I showed you
Yeah.
growing up. You have this picture, and now this is going to be presented. So by them seeing that or having the sense of ambiguity, they see what Pastor was saying and what our church was teaching us is the correct path. And I think that's so beautiful. When I came in earlier too, it was on my mind that ministry for me, since we're on ministry for me, the best part of ministry has been the struggle. And the reason why the struggle has been the best part is because from the struggle, it developed integrity. It developed a mindset to know who God is at a greater level.
Yeah.
It developed humility. It changed the whole gamut of what we believe to be religious or believe to be church. It made me a better businessman. It made me a better father, made me a better husband, all from the struggle of ministry. So I don't see it now as a struggle as much as I saw as it being a blessing.
Right.
So all of these developmental stages that we're talking about simply came from that part of ministry.
I love it.
Yeah.
And speaking of ministry in our last moments, could you, any information in regards to your church, location, website,
Yes.
anything, can you share that with our viewers? So that way, for those that may be looking for a place, like, you know what, I have a young man that actually needs some guidance. I have somebody that's in college and I've been trying to talk to them about as far as both of the ways, but it seems as though you guys have something that can actually help them. Or I'm a woman that's I'm trying to figure out who I really am in all of this,
Right.
but I'm struggling. Hey, I'm a man among men, but I haven't actually executed this whole man thing. Yes. Can you go ahead and share the information so that way people know your service times, location, any information that you have for them that you can share so that way they can get in contact with you?
Yeah, we're Destined for Glory, World Outreach Ministries. We're at 1401 East Flamingo at the Clark County Library in the large conference room area. And right across the hall, the Tundra, we have the Paul Bilal area for our children's church. Our services starts at 11:30 every Sunday from 1 o'clock. And then the children's church is from 12 to 1:30 on the other side.
Okay.
So that's where we are. And you can reach us through destinedforglory.org. And the number, 702-364-5679, a little fast, 702-364-5679. And then all of those outreaches are part of the website. So when they go there, they can see these particular things. And what we try to do, not just for Destined for Glory, but everyone alike, seniors, men, young children, to be a blessing to them. That's how they can reach us.
Oh man, so good,
Yeah.
so good. Thank you, Pastor Tony,
No,
for coming
thank
up
you.
on here, man. I really, really appreciate it for your time taken out and everything, for
Yeah.
coming and blessing us with, man, your humble heart and such an inviting environment as well too. So thank you again.
Thank God for you. Appreciate you.
Man. And we thank you as well for tuning in. Once again, if you're looking for a place and you were intrigued by the conversation with Pastor Tony today, make sure you reach out to his ministry. Other than that, God bless you all. We'll catch you guys on the next episode of Las Vegas United.
Our show is hosted by Pastor Dada Presley from Connection Church LV. To learn more about him and his ministry, please visit myconnectionlv.org. The guest this week is Pastor Tony Howard from Destined for Glory World Outreach Ministries. For more information, please visit destinedforglory.org. For more information about CTN Vegas and our show, please visit ctnvegas.com.